Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Blacklogic. China has announced an 84% tariff on all U.S. goods, which is a direct response to President Trump's recent 104% tariffs on Chinese imports. This sort of tit for tat escalation has sent shockwaves through global markets with significant declines in major stock indices and also oil prices, which is basically hitting a 4-year low. While the Trump administration, it defends these tariffs as a strategy to rejuvenate U.S. manufacturing, economists warn of potential inflation and limited immediate benefits. So again, the trade war between the U.S. and China has begun. And as the foreign minister of China stated, he believes there are going to be no winners in this. Now, hopefully, I'm betting on America to win, but in some other aspects, I do agree with him that both countries are going to hurt economically. And what this may do is make way for other countries to take the top spot when it comes to the largest GDP. Countries who are in place third, fourth, and fifth, your Italy's, your Japan's, your Korea's, other European countries as well, they have room if they broker a deal with Donald Trump, no less, in order to take, or at least take the second spot where China is. Because again, America is China's biggest customer. Even though China has customers from around the world, China is in almost in every country on every continent. But nonetheless, America is their biggest customer. So this will hurt them financially and will hurt their GDP as well as their stock market. So again, as we are reeling as Americans of the incline of oil prices or gas prices at the pump, grocery prices, inflation, interest rates on loans, this is another ticker to, again, hurt your bottom line and hurt your wallet. So hopefully they can come to some negotiation, they can come to some agreement that will benefit both countries in the end. Now, a devastating mass shooting occurred in Spotsylvania County in Virginia, resulting in 3 deaths and 3 injuries. The incident took place around 5:30 p.m. in a townhouse complex, no less, with all victims found outdoors. Authorities have apprehended all suspects and are urging residents to stay indoors as investigations continue. Now, they're still trying to figure out what occurred here, but 3 people were killed and another 3 were wounded. They call it a mass shooting as well as a mass killing. I believe that any shooting where 2 or more people are killed, they call it a mass killing. But again, they never depict or label things as such. They will say mass shooting where these things occurred. No, it's a mass killing. 2 or more people were killed. It's a mass killing. But nonetheless, I'll keep you guys updated with that story as well. If you're new to Blacklogic, please hit that subscribe button as well as a notification so you're notified every time I go live or release a video. Thank you for being with me this morning. Now, Mexico is struggling to meet its water delivery obligation under a 1944 treaty with the United States, with only 30% of the required 1.75, this is crazy, almost 2 million acre feet delivered and an October deadline looming. We have this deal with Mexico that's stemming from a 1944 treaty that they supposed to deliver water to America. Now, I could try to give you guys better background information on why this treaty has occurred, but that's not the most significant thing here because they've only delivered 30% of the required almost 2 million acres of feet of water. And this is because severe droughts and climate change have hindered Mexico's ability to fulfill these obligations, leading to heightened tensions that could impact the USMCA trade pact. And controversial measures, including amendments that is allowing federal authorities to extract water from northern states, have been proposed, sparking internal backlash, stating these waters are just for reserves. Well, if Mexico can't produce water for cattle, water for crops, drinking water, then we have to tap into those reserves. Because again, this is about the American people. House Democrats Brad Schreiner and Stephen Lynch have introduced the DOGE Accountability and Transparency Act. Yeah, they want more transparency with DOGE, even though DOGE is providing transparency inside of the American government. So these two House Democrats, they introduced legislation which they're calling the DOGE Accountability and Transparency Act, which aims to require DOGE to submit weekly impact reports to Congress. This move reflects efforts to increase oversight over DOGE and address concerns about its influence, mostly actions perceived as reckless by its leadership, such as Elon Musk. Although the bill faces slim chances of passing due to the Republican control of Congress, it serves as a call for greater transparency. And I've stated this to a certain degree because President Trump is so busy running the country. Some people and even some Republicans are stating that Elon Musk is off leash, that he's pretty much doing what he wants to do, and there needs to be an oversight committee. Now, of course, these two House Democrats that proposed this legislation, I don't believe it's going to pass. But do I believe there needs to be transparency and accountability within DOGE? Absolutely. Absolutely. The people who see, I've always had these things that people who run these organizations that reveal fraud, waste, and abuse, or teach what they call it as a program called Teach the Teacher or Teach Your Instructor. I know you guys know what I'm referring to, but this is similar in some regards to each organization, whether it be auditors, investigators, they also need an oversight committee to make sure they're doing the right thing when it concludes to the investigation or their findings, okay? Because again, we can't automatically assume that personnel in audit teams, personnel in investigation teams, personnel that are a part of DOGE are doing the right thing every single time. And we need people just to analyze the information that's presented to ensure that DOGE as well as other teams are on the up and up, that they're doing the right thing. Because again, this is affecting America. This is affecting American citizens. And again, I do agree that DOGE is needed. They need to sort out all fraud, waste, and abuse. But again, and this is not to slow, and when it comes to Congress, I'm not saying Congress should be the ones to do this. It can be an independent team, okay? But again, DOGE is a government-ran entity. But this can be an independent thing, and I don't mean like the political party independence, but it can be a team that the White House hire, and the people that they gather together, maybe they're from all walks of life, meaning they're Democrats, they're Republicans, and they're independents. So again, it's neutral across the board. And I don't mean have 3 of this and 2 of that. No, if it's going to be a team of 9, 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans, 3 independents. Again, transparency is key here. Just because they are showing transparency within the government, I still believe there needs to be someone who's looking into them to make sure they're doing the right thing as well. Because again, fraud can still occur by the way of DOGE in trying to sort out fraud, waste, and abuse. I don't know if you call that double fraud. I'm pretty sure there's some term, that people have to describe that. But again, I do believe that in some regards. And I know a lot of people may not agree with that because they're all for DOGE, and I am too, but I am for oversight. And not to slow the progress of DOGE, okay? If they're going to send out a weekly report, again, projecting what they're going to do, that oversight committee, unless they have approval by the president, will have the authority to stop any action that the DOGE team will take. The weekly reports, I can understand because DOGE is moving very quickly. So again, you want to be proactive there. But again, if you're trying to stop anything that DOGE is trying to do, you need the approval of the president. That is just the way it should be, in my opinion. But there should be another team that's looking over some of the decisions that they're making. A federal judge have ordered the return of Kilmar Abrego Gracia, a 29-year-old Maryland resident who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador due to an administrative error. Despite being granted protection from deportation in 2019, Garcia was apprehended and deported to El Salvador's maximum security terrorism confinement center. The Department of Homeland Security alleges Garcia is affiliated with the MS-13 gang, claim his attorneys contest due to a lack of evidence. The court has mandated his return to the U.S., highlighting significant concerns about immigration enforcement practices. Now, I don't know Kilmore Abrego Garcia, but they do not have the evidence to support their claim, even though this was an administrative error. It could have been a sort of a mix-up of names, okay, or date of birth, so anything that is identifying that they mixed up, and he was sent to a maximum security prison in El Salvador, and they don't have evidence to support it. He should be brought back to the U.S. He is a legal resident. See, as I was walking down the illegal immigration train, the one thing I've constantly stated is that people who are illegally in the country, as far as American citizens are concerned, they are legally to be here. Because again, not me, not a lot of you, but we have a lot of legal immigrants who 1 to 2 generations here in America. And a lot of these people are against illegal immigration because they came through legally, as they should be. So me being an American citizen, my father, his father, his father, his father, his father, his father, dating back to the 1500s, then yes, if he is a legal resident, he should be brought back to the U.S. if you do not have evidence, substantial evidence, verifiable evidence that he is a part or affiliated with illegal gang activity, then he should be brought back to the U.S. And speaking about illegal immigrants, the Trump administration has revoked the legal status of nearly 1 million migrants who entered the U.S. using the CBP One app. Implemented during the Biden administration, the Department of Homeland Security has begun issuing notices, canceling their permits, and instructing them to leave the U.S. immediately or face deportation. Those with pending asylum application may await judicial resolution before potential deportation, and the DHS is promoting self-deportation through the new CBP Home app, emphasizing it as the safest options with the possibility of legal reentry in the future. Now, this is tricky. If I am a legal immigrant, I'm a legal migrant, and they have revoked 1 million legal migrant statuses. And they're asking them, it's probably best that you self-deport. I will look at this very objectively, but very quickly in the same regards, because one, the U.S. is mistakenly sending people to El Salvador in prisons. Do I really want the U.S. to apprehend or detain me and then deport me and possibly mistaken identity? Because again, people from certain regions of the world have similar last names, have similar names. Like in America, everyone knows Smith, Johnson. A lot of these names are very common, just like in parts of Central and South America. You like this, the gentleman that we're speaking about before, his last name is Garcia. They have a lot of Garcias in Central America, Mexico, as well as South America. So again, I would self-deport. To cut it short and sweet, I would self-deport. I wouldn't want any mistaken identity, because some people are like, well, I'll just have the U.S. to self-deport me because they're going to fly me back to my country. That's not a sure bet. That's not a sure bet, because again, as they apprehend you, as they detain you because you was part of this CBP One app, and they have revoked your legal status, you don't know the procedures you're going to go through. You don't know if the Border and Protection agents are going to scan and or investigate you and see if you have any identifying tattoos and then deport you to El Salvador. So again, if I have the opportunity to deport myself, if I have the resources and or funds or the means, I'm going to self-deport myself. I really am. I'm just not going to deal with it, because I'll rather go broke than end up in an El Salvadorian prison where I'm just wearing boxer shorts and I have a bald head and I'm in with hardened criminals and cartels. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to self-deport. So that's my advice if you're in that situation, because it's utterly ridiculous. And I just want to touch back on this trade war that we have with the world and mostly China at this point, because a lot of the other countries are flying in, calling into America to make a deal. But the escalating trade war between the US and China, it is marked by the imposition of steep tariff, and it has led to very significant market volatility. You can just see now the stock market, as I told you, by the dip, by the dip, by the dip. We be during the recession, and the market has always been up, but it's always dipped in certain times, but it always bounced back even stronger because global stock markets have experienced sharp declines, and oil prices have dropped to 4-year lows in industries throughout the industries worldwide, including pharmaceuticals and steel. Everyone is feeling the impact, and it's raising concerns about potential global economic slowdown and reminiscence of the 1930s. And why is the 1930s important? Because in 1929, they had, wow. It wasn't just a recession. It was a depression. 1929 was a depression that America never wants to revisit ever again. There was a lot of people who died because of the recession. Violence was at an all-time high because of the lack of jobs and opportunities. So again, as we look at the EU and other nations and how they are contemplating responses to mitigate the economic fallout, we have to understand that as American and as America, we're in the driver's seat. But we have a lot of people who are passengers who are tapping us on the shoulders trying to drive this train or be a conductor. Conductors drive trains, right? Or they navigate the train. Nonetheless, I don't know. But the point I'm making here is hopefully we can come to a trade negotiation deal with China so things can at least turn out for the better. I do agree, America first. A lot of industries and jobs need to return to America. Because again, Americans, we're really losing a lot of our skills. We're losing our skills to build houses. We've kind of let people from Central as well as Mexico build our houses. So a lot of us, we're just a contractor signing paperwork. We're not building anything. But we have a lot of tradesmen, and they're soon to go away because they're like, why would I go into construction if majority of the people in construction are from Central America and Mexico? So a lot of the trades are going away. A lot of people in trade when it comes to nursing. A lot of nurses are now Hispanic and or Haitian, African, or from the Caribbean. So when we look at immigration as a whole, there's certain groups of people that have attacked these markets that Americans have been squeezed out because they know that these American businessmen, a lot of these American businesses can hire immigrants, legal as they should be, and illegal, at a very discounted price. So again, as I've been stating for a very long time now, that I hope everything works out for the betterment of America. I have one more thing for you guys. I just want to know your take on this. This clip here is from a Nigerian man, and he's talking about white supremacy and Nigerians. And this is something that Foundational Black Americans have been talking about for quite some time. But as we continue to talk about it, we're understanding that a lot of Nigerians are coming out and agreeing. Okay, those who are not under the influence, that their group of people, no matter the tribe, but the people, the Nigerians, not all of them, I'm not even saying a majority of them, but a good proportion of them deal in white supremacy in some regards. I'll let him tell his spiel here. Listen in.
There is no group of Africans that love white people more than Nigerians in Nigeria. I had to be specific. Nigerians are the most arrogant, confident, brash, loud group of people you will ever meet. But that loudness is only when we are in proximity to other Nigerians. The moment a Nigerian in Nigeria spots a white person, a person with straight hair, or a person with specifically a British accent, that accent has a psychological effect. That is our cone chip activator. You will notice that the average Nigerian is remote control effects. That is our cone chip activator. You will notice.
And I don't know if you guys can hear what he's stating through his strong accent, but he stated that is their coon ship activator. I just want you to hear that one more time again.
Has a psychological effect. That is our cone chip activator. You will notice that the average Nigerian is remote controlly subdued. It is why when you go to a restaurant, you go inside that restaurant as a Nigerian, they'll tell you to get out. They'll even answer you. Go inside as a white man, you see them. Hey, oh my God, hey Jesus, white man, please sit down here. What more do you need? What do you? That year, early 90s. I was in Avicenna now. That time when we used to have a lot of Igbo, a lot of white people in our country. See how they used to treat them, You would think that they are the second coming of Jesus Christ. See, you guys, you know what I'm saying. I'm not lying. This is just my observation. If you don't agree, that's just me.